this is 102 when I just connected the.
Unplug the running.
Yep.
We try not to run Ethernet and Wi-Fi on the same device.
Yeah, that's been done. All right, easy. I've just done that, so hopefully that sorts that out. Easy. All right. Cheers. Where you at this year, man?
Me? Altona City.
No, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, good. Got the Arsenal bully.
Far out. Who's running the show there now? Everyone keeps saying.
Help us level the playing field. Sign the parliamentary petition today to fuel the growth and fund the game.
Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Good evening and a very warm welcome to you wherever you may be tuning into this NPL Victoria Round 3 clash from Churchill Reserve in Melbourne's western suburb of St Albans. It's the big clash between St Albans Dynamo and the Oakleigh Cannons. My name is Tonchi Prusats. It's a pleasure to be here and in the company of Ivan Gurgic. How are you, Ivan?
Very well, thanks, Tonchi. Just have a minute.
fire them up. Playing on their home deck, as we said, it's quite flat at the moment. It's a little bit wet, but it's going to suit Dinamo perfectly at the moment, as big clearing kick there from Marko Bulic, who's had a good start to the season in between the sticks for Dinamo.
Of course, Christian Rossi joined in the off-season, and both of them were fighting for a number one position, and looks like Marko Bulic has secured that one to start the season. Interestingly, with Lloyd Isgrove out tonight, they've shifted Nick Cook onto the left wing and Joey Monek on the right. So that's paid immediate dividends for Cam Watson as they're 1-0 up. But we'll see who can settle here and contain the ball and get a bit of control of the game.
And once again, Dinamo looking ominous as they go into attack. Manos clearing it. Bit of flash of lightning in the background there, but we're assured it's in the northern suburbs. Kirk, the goal scorer there, fighting for the ball there with the cannons play. That was Labib. And it's Labib now once again with the ball on that far side in front of the group. He cuts it in now, looking for Guest. Switches it, looking for Diaz. Can he get to the ball? He can. Leban hot in pursuit. Knocks it all the way to Hampson. Hampson gets around his opponent. He's on the edge of the box. A neat 1-2. And I don't know if that was a pass to Bulic or if that was a half-hearted shot. But in the end, Marko Bulic has the ball safely in his mitts. Well, we're just catching our breath with that opening sequence of events that resulted in the Dinamo goal. But that's certainly going to fire the boys in blue. That's for sure. As Dew now has it on the far side. It's already been called into action so early in the piece. Kirk heads it in towards Platt. Galevsky now. He's an imposing figure there for Dinamo. Switches it out to Monek on the right. Monek's tries to get past Hampson, but slips over at the crucial moment. And it looked like he was about to turn onto his favoured left foot. He would have let go, I'm sure of that.
Yeah, maybe wrong choice of footing, Joey. Unlucky, but very good start here from St Albans. Pressing up fairly high up the pitch. And Tonchi, having looked at the results previously between these two teams at Churchill Reserve, Oakleigh have not won here since 2021. So I wonder if Chris Taylor touched on that as they launch a counter-attack of their own. And great save from Bulic. Left leg out for a corner to Oakleigh.
Well, that was a bit of a crowd goal from where we were standing for a minute. I thought, mate, that must have gone in. There was stunned silence here at Churchill Reserve, and for a moment I thought it hit the back of the net, but it hadn't. Great interception there by Bulic. So, and that's where Dinamo are going to have to really, really be careful. That counter-attack, that fast against the play kind of play. Oakleigh, as we saw there, can transfer the ball very quickly, but it's a corner now to Oakleigh. Towards the back post, and it sails over the head of Jordan Hall, over the head of Ajak Dieu, and it goes for a out of play for a goal kick to Dinamo. There's a lot of interesting games happening on tonight as well, so we'll give you progress scores throughout those games throughout the evening. But it's great to have NPL Victoria back, and I tell you what, after the first two rounds, we've had some great games, phenomenal results, and we've had some brilliant crowds. Over 4,000 last week at the Preston St Albans game. And then round one here, we saw a crowd in excess of, I'd say, 2,000, if not more, for the St Albans Dandenong City game, which ended in a 0-0 draw. Platt on the far side. Can he get to it? He's got about two Oakleigh players, and it's the boys in white that managed to get that ball in the end. Guest is adjudged to be offside. And the Hill, you can hear them. They're starting to make their presence known. The famous St Albans Dinamo supporters on just next to our commentary position. Leban now looks around for options. He goes in a backwards direction, switches across to Dieu. Back to Dieu. He knocks it to Bulic. Bulic looks up. Just chips it delightfully to Galevsky. That was a brilliant actual pass. Galevsky right in front of our commentary position. Knocks it back to Leban. A little bit of a lofted effort there, looking for Atsushi, but he wasn't able to get it. And now it's Diaz for the Cannons. Into Strong. The ball goes... it looks like it's going to be a free kick. Was it Hampson? It was Connor Hampson who looks like he got an elbow into the ribs right in front of the Hill, and the Hill not letting him get away with it lightly.
Yeah, there's a bit going on behind the bench there, and they're letting Hampson know that maybe he was a little bit soft. But anyway, free kick here on the left-hand side. Very frantic start to this one, Tonchi. As Joe Guest steps up, of course, reigning NPL gold medalist. What can he conjure up here?
It looks like he's going to go towards the far post, some of the tall timber out there, and a nice floating ball to the back, and it's cleared by a very desperate Dinamo defence. Golevsky now, can they turn defence into attack? He goes forward looking for Platt, and Manos has to come out, and in the end he safely retrieves it inside his 16-yard box. Suns battling to get through, so that's a good sign. But apart from kind of the slippery conditions, or somewhat slippery conditions, the surface is a little bit soft, which is perfect for this time of year. And once again, here comes Leban going to the ball. Hampson knocks it back, heads it all the way back to his goalkeeper. And it seems to me the Cannons are a little bit rattled.
Yeah, the game's still it's toing and it's throwing early on here, Tonchi, and I think we just need one of the teams to settle down on the ball and just control possession a little bit. It's still a warm night, so if it plays at this tempo all night, I think it will open up, but very frantic early. As Liston Diaz whips the ball in from the left-hand side, runs through, and Labib keeps it in play. To Ford. Tries to beat his man, gets past him. Shout for a penalty. Referee waves it away, and Dinamo come out with the ball.
Lucky Weir with a really good solid tackle on that occasion, but the ball ends up with the Cannons on that far side, and they're just looking for any opportunity there, knocking it back to Jordan Hall. And looks like it's going to be a free kick right on the halfway line. Nicholas Kirk, the goal scorer, and he must be on cloud 9 at the moment. He's scoring after 2 minutes, and it's just what the Dinamo bench wanted. There's a bit of stability there, as is with the Cannons in the coaching circles. Cameron Watson now entering, well, basically his third season. His first was a very short season, then he had last season, and now he's back here at Dinamo. And Chris Taylor, well, he's an icon at the Cannons, at Jack Edwards Reserve. As Golevsky now, he had Nicholas Kirk on the far side, but he just wasn't able to find him. And now the Cannons try and regroup.
Yeah, as you touched on before, Tonchi, Leban and Diaz are teammates, and funnily enough, they're lining up on each other tonight. That will be an interesting battle, considering Diaz did score a brace last week, and I think Cannons will try and use their man who's in form. It's a bit of an aerial battle now. Jew wins strongly. And Oakleigh maintain possession here in the heart of midfield. Little slip ball through to Labib. Cut back to the top of the box. And Diaz! And Tonchi, I hope you didn't park over there behind that corner flag, because that one has hit a car there.
No, my car's pretty safe. It's on pitch 3, but I think he was aiming for pitch 2 on that occasion. That ball went absolutely flying. But it seems to me, I was going to say, did it take a deflection? No, it didn't. It's a throw in. It's actually a throw in to be taken there by Weir. Knocks it to Atsushi. He goes forward. Look at Monik. Look at the speed on him. Goodness me, the youngster there. He really put the burners on that occasion. And he's going to be a key for Dinamo on that flank. That's where he's going to bring a bit of speed. But Diaz is going to be the key for the Cannons. He's already looking dangerous on a couple of occasions. And as you mentioned, and we're going to mention that a couple of times, his battle with... actually, that was Hampson, sorry. Wasn't Diaz. But Diaz's battle with Leban's going to be a good one on this right-hand side for Dinamo left-hand side for Oakleigh Cannons. And here's an opportunity, and took a deflection. That, on that occasion, was Alex Salmon, who also scored last week. He almost found the equaliser, but it was Aaron Anderson who managed to get his noggin onto it and knock it away. Intentionally or unintentionally, the job was done, and he managed to clear it away, and it is going to be a corner for the Cannons. We're entering the 14th minute of this game. Things have sort of, as you said, yo-yoed since that goal. Both sides trying to settle down as the Cannons now with the corner. Goes to the back post. It was headed their way by Tratt. There's calls for handball. Referee just says no, play on. Is it Galevsky? Back to Bulich. Further afield looking for Nicholas Kirk. The ball goes out of play. It is going to be a throw-in to the Cannons. They're happy to knock it back. Labib had it. Then he's found Sinclair. We talk about a settled team at Cannons in the coach's bench, but also on the field. As Ivan, you mentioned, it's an unchanged lineup from last week's game where they defeated Altona Magic 3-1. And Bulich now, once again, he certainly stands out with that fluorescent-y orange outfit, doesn't he? You certainly can't miss him on a dull night like tonight. But it's quite a pleasant night. I mean, it's conditions-wise, it's quite pleasant, isn't it?
It is good now that the rain's cleared a little bit. We hope it stays like this, and I think conditions are perfect for football with a bit of water on the pitch. The ball's zipping around nicely. But either team yet to really gain control as Diaz dispossesses Galevsky, takes it up the left. And Oakleigh Cannons come away with a throw-in. Deep in attack on the left-hand side. From Diaz. And the message from the St Albans bench here is just to calm it down and keep possession a little bit. Try to settle into the game. Of course, they've got the 1-0 lead, so they want to sort of gain control here and nullify Oakleigh as much as they can. And that's a staple of Cam Watson's side. Obviously keeping possession, a lot of short passes. So we'll see how that transpires as they turn it over there.
A couple of progress scores from other games being played. Heidelberg United and Dandenong City at the Olympic Village. After 14 minutes, the score over there is 0-0. And that's the only other NPL game being played tonight. In VPL 1, Northcote City have travelled to Langwarren, and after 17 minutes, it's 0-0 there. But the interesting thing is Langwarren have copped a red card. And there's a few other games kicking off at 8 o'clock and 8:30. Brunswick City and Port Melbourne, Brunswick Juventus and Melbourne Victory, and then the Melbourne Knights and North Sunshine Eagles over at Tomset Stadium at 8:30. So some lots of football happening around the city tonight as Dynamo now looking to, turn defence into attack, but they've been dispossessed very, very quickly. Kirk now manages to somehow evade and get the ball. It's in Cannon's possession, but Leban's going to run and get to the ball first. Knocks it back to Bulich. Bulich long, clearing kick. So Cannon's continuing to try and find a gap somewhere. Joe Guest had it for a second there. He's going to try and get it back. Leban now to Galevsky. Strong. Back to Hampson. He knocks it all the way back to Tratt. Switches direction and goes to the far side. Had it, but it's ended up with Labib. And it's a little bit scrambly at the moment. I thought there was going to be a free kick there, and it is. Against Dynamo, it's going to be a free kick for Oakleigh's Labib. And that was Lachlan Weir, who caused the infringement. And this is a bit of a dangerous set piece for Dynamo. They've managed to absorb a lot of the pressure in the first half. In fact, they've managed to absorb all the pressure so far in the first half. But they be on their toes and maintain that concentration throughout. And that was something that we saw last week against Preston, that they, lapses of concentration here and there really cost them. But here's opportunity for the Cannons, but Leban clears it away. Strong intercepted, and here's an opportunity for the Cannons. Jacob Tratt found himself on the edge of the box with a little bit of space, and he had a shot. In fact, that was Jordan Hall, I believe. But yeah, it was Tratt, was it? Yep. Confirmation there, but ball goes well wide of the target, and it's a goal kick to St Albans.
As a defender myself, Tonchi, we always love when a centre back tries to replay. And ball with Leban. And another bit of a scramble there, but St Albans throw in. Deep in defence. Long ball to Platt. Manos clears. Ball falls to Monek. And Tratt has just caught him. And the referee is going to have a little chat here with Jacob Tratt. Looks like he is about to caution him. As St Albans have a free kick in a dangerous position here, Tonchi.
Speaking of danger, Manos was off his line there, and Monek saw that. He tried to get around him, and he was going to, even though he wasn't on his favoured left side, I dare say he would have tried the audacious chip, and he probably would have come close. So I guess it's a professional foul, that the foul that you had to evoke, if I guess, or infringe is the word I'm looking for. But now it's going to be a free kick to St Albans Dynamo. Lockie Weir in the right-sided pocket, and he's going to go to the back post, and there's quite a few tall players there that are all gathering around there. Ajak Dirt is probably the pick of the bunch there. So is Nicholas Kirk, the scorer. Mikael Platt goes to the back post, and Platt it was that almost got ahead to it, but it evaded him and evaded everyone, and has ended up with a goal kick to the Cannons.
Yeah, but then fucking at least decent delivery, yeah?
Well, we've now entered the halfway point of this opening half. It's still St Albans Dynamo 1, Oakleigh Cannons 0. And take the goal away, Ivan. Who would you say is ahead? If we had to kind of talk about it like a boxer on points, who'd be winning the TKO at the moment?
I like them. Very even so far. I mean, Tratt had that half chance from outside the box as Monek. Shouts of handball. The referee waves that away. Yeah, Tonchi, pretty even so far. I mean, none of the sides have had clear possession and really have been in good rhythm. Maybe they're just adjusting to the conditions a little bit, as it is quite fast out there. But we know football's a game of chances. You get a chance, you take your chance, and you're 1-0 up, Tonchi.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those games. I think both sides are going to be applying the pressure. It is humid, as you mentioned before, and that's one of the factors that as the game progresses, it's impossible to maintain that intensity throughout. And once one team starts to lapse in concentration and allows the other team in, and they'll both have to be very, very patient, that's for sure. As Leban had the ball in front of us, but it's Diaz fighting for it whilst he's on the ground. Hampson knocks it all the way back in turn to Tratt. And the Cannons now looking to kind of settle things. And Concentration is going to be of paramount importance non-stop. As Guest now, he takes a bit of a tumble, but I think that was a little bit of almost like a bit of a lethargic fall.
Yeah, dangerous long ball there, and obviously St Albans got exposed last week with the forward runs of Sian Cuba, Preston's number 10 or number 80, I think he wears. But I think Cam Watson would have let his troops know that those forward runs, so I'm sure they would have done some video analysis during the week to sort that out. As Golevsky goes out wide to the goal scorer, and Queck just goes through his feet there, but is able to win a throw-in.
I think the slippery conditions, the greasy conditions were on display there when the goal scorer wasn't able to do much and the ball actually evaded him, knocking all the way back. Platt has got two players to contend with. Oakleigh Cannons now breaking away. Diaz manages to get it on the left side here. Running alongside him was Sinclair, who knocked it to him. Ball is Sinclair's going to get to it first. He does. Gets on his left foot, looks to cross it. But that was fantastic play by Mikael Platt. And Dinamo gets it away, but only as far as Jacob Tratt, who goes across now to Ford. Joseph Ford on that far side. Knocks it forward to Labib. Labib to Guest, and this is an opportunity for the Cannons. But it's that was well read there by Bulich, and he was able to intervene at the right time.
Yeah, Cam Watson will be happy with that defensive work rate from Mikael Platt. You don't often see a striker work that hard back, so it's good to see, and they've nullified the counter-attack there as Drew progresses up the left-hand side to Quick, and they just keep the ball now. To Bulich. Down the line. No one there, but yeah. There was a 5-on-5 there, Oakleigh. Just the cutback was what was lacking. And Jacob Tratt loses his patience a little bit, and the ball sails out for a St Albans goal kick.
A little bit of a waste there. Diaz once again was on that left-hand side, looking quite dangerous. He was calling for it. He had a bit of space, but he decided to go for a sort of a hopeful long ball, and it was well too long for anyone there. And the result is a goal kick to Dinamo. There's a lot of turnovers, a lot of unforced errors. We're using a lot of terminology from other sports tonight, aren't we? But Labib there on the far side knocks it back to Ford. Ford too strong. And now it's Dinamo managing to get the ball away. Golevsky to Monek, to Leban. A little bit of a chip going forward. And the ball's going to go out of play. He takes it from his coach to Golevsky. Back to Leban. He's lost it. But it's cleared away there by Joseph Cholina. He's been a little bit quiet, the captain. But he's just coming back from a suspension in round one. But he's going to be a key around in that middle of the park. As we see the Cannons now forced to go back. That was Tratt, who's been called into action quite a fair bit today. And that combination to Ford to Labib. There's a Guest on that far side. Back to Labib. He hooks it back towards Diaz. Well intercepted by Leban. Monik. He's going to use his speed, but the ball's going to beat both of those players, and the ball goes out of play for a throw-in to be taken by Connor Hampson. Immediately, he releases the ball further down the park. Leban goes for the safety of the sidelines, and I'd say that ball was out. It was still in play, and that's a good decision by the linesman. We were right on top of that. You could see that the ball was still in play when I think it was Hampson. He has a bit of a chuckle there. The whole ball didn't go out, as is the rule in football. Smiles all round. But anyway, Dinamo now with the ball. Jakadu clearing it once, clearing it twice. He's been really, really reliable in that Dinamo defence. He's probably had the most possession in these early stages of the game, but certainly he looks very, very much in control And who else is there in the back line? Aaron Anderson, also centre back, and then Leban and Lachlan Weir on the full backs. But I was just about to say he's probably been the best of the Dinamo players, and then he almost lost the ball there. But he manages to retrieve it, but the ball does go out of play for an Oakleigh Cannons throw-in, and this is an opportunity for the Cannons.
Yeah, they've just been on top, Tonchi, the last 5 or 10 minutes as Paul gets it, circulates the trap, and they've had a bit of territory. Let's see if they can get a shot on goal. There's a nice little ball into Diaz in behind, and tries to dink it over Bulich, but unfortunately sails over the goals, and that's another goal kick. There's been quite a few goal kicks for Marko Bulich. Of course, he's very comfortable with his feet, Marko, but Oakleigh not allowing them to play out in the early stages of this one. But I do agree, Anderson and Dew have been very solid in the back line and dealing with all the aerial threats that have come their way so far, Tonchi.
And there have been quite a fair few threats, and that's probably an indication that the Cannons are desperately searching for that equaliser. As Leban now goes inboard to Cholina. Cholina to Monek. Monek in the middle of the park. He's brought down right in front of the referee there, and he was going to pay the advantage, but there was no advantage, and that was Hampson who knocked Monek right. Well, it was about 2 metres in front of him, so he had the perfect viewing point there, or platform, the referee.
I think Cam Watson will be very pleased with that. They managed to play through the press there, and Joseph Cholina had heaps of time and space, and Oakleigh did well to foul there. As another foul from Hampson on Joey Monek. And, as we see, if they can play through that press, there's plenty of room in the middle third of the pitch there, and they can expose them 5v5. But, Cam Watson, I think, will be very pleased with that.
Connor Hampson better watch himself. There was 2 tackles on Joey Monek almost identically, and that ball goes a little bit astray, but it's cleared away by Bulich to safety. But, a couple of, the referees kind of looked at it twice. Keeps doing that. He runs the risk of copping a yellow card. We've already seen his fellow centre-back, Jacob Trapp, get his name in the referee's book. Golevsky to Kirk. He can't do anything there. It was that? It was Ford. He ends up with the ball to Labib. Labib's still in possession of the ball. But Golevsky, such a strong player. He manages to get the ball back to Weir. Ajak Dew clearing it. Leban going up with Diaz. He's certainly got the height advantage, but on next situation, Monek now clears it back to Bulich. It's basically a game of aerial ping-pong at the moment, and it's Diaz who's going to get to the ball. He's going to cross it now to the far side, looking for Labib. Cleared away by the Dinamo defence, and once again he let it go, and he said, I'll see if there's an advantage. There was none, so he's decided to call it back, and it's going to be a free kick to St Albans Dinamo. Looks like Joe Guest there remonstrating with the referee. He's not happy, and he's going on, and he still doesn't stop. He's decided to stop now when the referee blows his whistle. And once again, Marko Bulich with the ball. Well, it's not a goal kick, it's a free kick, but from a similar position, and he's going to go for the long one on the grandstand side.
Yeah, St Albans are just soaking up pressure here at the moment, and Salmon chips it over. Labib, of course, made the move from Olympic Kingsway in Perth. As they launch a counter-attack of their own, St Albans. Quirk still has it to Platt. Spins onto his right. Cholina. Well blocked. And now Oakleigh, another counter-attack. Here we go. Diaz up the left-hand side. 1v1 with Leban. What can he do? Cut back. Dummy. Salmon onto his favoured right. Goes out wide. And broken up. Fantastic team defence from St Albans there. As they control possession now. with Gillespie in the middle of the park with time and space.
Well, it really is end-to-end football. There may be quite a fair few mistakes, and we can blame it on the greasy conditions, but it's also quite eventful because it's moving from one side of the pitch to the other side of the pitch very, very quickly. Kirk there. The Cannons, I think that's Ford on that far side. He goes to Labib. That's been a combination that's been utilised quite a fair bit by the Cannons tonight. And the ball dribbles out of play, and it is going to be a throw-in to Dinamore. And we've just gone past the half-hour mark here at Churchill Reserve. The thunder seems to rumble in the background. Well, that might actually be the planes. Who would know? There are a couple of planes as they're making their descent towards Tullamarine. But meanwhile, here at Churchill Reserve in St Albans, Monek knocks it all the way back to Anderson. Leban, who's drifting into more of a midfield role now as well. He gets the ball again in the middle of the park. Goes to Cholina. Cholina turns. Back to Adur. To Bulich. They're fast running out of options. Anderson now. He knocks it in. Looking for Leban. Unable to get it to him. This is dangerous. Guest has got a little bit of space there. Labib on the edge of the box. And it's going to be an offside. No goal there as Salmon managed to chip Bulich into the goal, but luckily for the home fans, the assistant linesman on that far side had his flag up.
Yeah, obviously St Albans had good possession there, and they've gone backwards and invited the press, and probably the ball from Anderson needed to skip a line and go a bit further forward, and they invited the press, and Oakleigh pounced on it. Chris Taylor has a very, very good counter-attacking side on his hands, and they're well drilled, and they've also got a lot of continuity, having played together in the last few years, and not too many changes in this Oakleigh squad. So, yeah, they're just trying to get that breakthrough, but luckily for St Albans, the linesman has helped out by raising his flag there. As Anderson on the ball. To Gulewski, to Anderson. Leban on the half turn. What can he do here? Carries the ball into the final third. Monek's on, Cholina's on. Does a 360 special there, Monek. And back to Gulewski as they retain possession. Cholina bouncing. This is good from St Albans. Just soaking up the pressure. Best form of defence is having the ball at your feet, Tonchi.
Absolutely. Well, unfortunately for the Dinamo fans, they've lost the ball there. That was Labib there, who was upended by Cholina, Joseph Cholina, was it? And it's going to be a free kick now to Oakleigh Cannons. But they were knocking the ball around, causing a little bit of frustration with the Cannons. They weren't able to do much there apart from just chase the ball. But eventually perseverance paid off, and on that far side, Labib managed to get the ball. It looks like it's going to be a yellow card now. Is that to Joseph Cholina? I believe so. He's walking away not happy with things, and it is a yellow card to Joseph Cholina after 36 minutes. So we've got about 10 minutes of this opening half left. It's still Dinamo leading the Cannons 1-0. Leban getting the ball away. And Platt now. Ball was... The referee's actually saying... I don't know if he was saying that there was an infringement. Rather, he's saying that the foot was very high. And even though Sinclair was calling for a free kick, I think the referee awarded that for the foot being too high.
Yeah, the referee's awarded a foul there. And the St Albans Hill is letting him know they don't agree with that decision. Nevertheless, Joe Gestia looking to curl one away from Marko Bulich. And Oakleigh have sent their tall timber up there. Outswinger from Guest. Jew gets his head on it. And Queck with the ball at his feet. Tries to release Gulewski, but that's a miscue. And Joseph Ford tries a diagonal, but it spills to Diaz. Shouts for handball. But now Dinamo come away with the ball. And Trapp clears their lines. Shouts for handball there.
It's not a handball though. It goes up your foot, hits your hand, it's not a handball.
But throw in for St Albans here at right back. And Leban has the ball. Bit of back and forth on the benches here, Tonchi.
Yeah, I think they're all both conceding that the ball did touch the hand, but he was pulling his hand away from what I could see, and also went off his boot, so it looked more or less that it was one of those reactionary handballs. Referee was in good position. And I must say the refereeing tonight has been pretty good, pretty darn good, that's for sure. It's a pretty fast-moving game at the moment, going from end to end. As we said, lots of turnovers, lots of mistakes, but we understand that with the conditions the way they are. Anderson trying to clear that ball away, and the ball is going to go out of the field of play. It's the Cannons with the ball now. Sinclair goes to Guest. Knocks it into Salmon. Salmon with a shot on his right foot, but Bulic was down on that. He was in control quite easily. Galevsky on that far side. Ajak Du. Back to the Bulic. Bulic is going to go now high, wide and handsome, well over the grandstand and onto pitch 2 where I think the under-23s are training tonight.
And that's what happens when you get Joe Guest on the half turn. He was able to conjure up a little pass into Salmon and had a shot. Bullish did extremely well considering the greasy conditions to scoop that one up. But, Oakleigh will try and capitalise on this period of dominance here as we're deep into the first half. Still 1-0 to St Albans. Throw into Labib. And not much happening in the corner there. But Oakleigh get another throw in. Sure, St Albans will not want to concede now. Just keep it solid until the halftime break, and then they can regroup as the ball comes in. Dew clears, but only to Sinclair. And Joe Guest strikes from 25 yards, but Bulic straight into his breadbasket. Very comfortable from Marco. As the ball goes long into Mikel Platt. Tratt wins a header. Ball in dispute here. Inoue does well to retain possession. And recycles back to Weir, to Cholina. Turns out. And Dinamo keeping possession here, but Oakleigh are pressing. And there's the man. There's the outlet. Leban on the turn. Can he find the right winger? He can. Joey Monek, 1v1. Gulewski with the forward run. Monek strikes. Just not enough whip on that one, Tonchi. And it's now for a goal kick to Manos.
Good lead-up play there. Leban in the middle of the park. He saw Monek on the far side, on the flank, on his right-hand side. Win in a lot of space. So much space that he was able to get onto his left foot. He was going for that curling effort, but it just wasn't going to get there. But just looking across, and it looks like the clubhouse is on fire, but I think it's the grill happening over there. They've got the chavape cooking very, very quickly, which can only mean one thing. Half-time is fast approaching. And with about 4 minutes left of regulation time, if Dinamo can keep maintaining this, pressure on Cannons, and at the same time absorbing the immense pressure that the Cannons are exerting over Dinamo, if they can handle this, they'll go into the halftime break with a 1-0 lead. And it has been a very, very even opening half, minus the goal. And it's just that one goal, that second-minute strike. As Monek now powers through the midfield. He's got Kirk, the goal scorer, on his right-hand side. Back to Monek on his left-hand side. Unable to get there. Yes, he is. Back to Kirk. It's those two players now knocking the ball between each other. Monek unable to stay on his feet, and he gets dispossessed by Ford. Ford now looking further afield for Labib. He's not in position, so he decides to go back. And then the Cannons have got no other choice but to go back and then across the park. There's still plenty of time for them to do something in this opening half to find that equalizer, as Manos now goes long, looking for Diaz, who's in an offside position, and as soon as he's ran onto the ball, the linesman on the far side who was in excellent position, signalled that was an offside. Free kick to Dinamo deep inside their defensive half.
Geez, it was good seeing Joey Monek stream through the midfield with his pace and dribbling ability. Unlucky between him and Quirk not to get a shot on goal, but here we are as St Albans just taking a bit of sting out of the game. Long diagonal from Bulich, who's fantastic with the ball at his feet. And that is a Cannons throw-in. As they have possession in the middle of the park. Good ball into Guest. That's the pocket he likes to operate in. And now he picks it up off Jacob Tratt. And a good diagonal ball to Hampson. Hampson whips it in. And Lockie Weir, some desperate defending. And here we go. And that's what we call a professional foul there, Tonchi, from Joe Guest. And he's managed to sneak away from a caution, it looks like.
Professional foul or professional wrestling? I don't know between the two, but that was like a little bit of a head sling, I suppose. But there was a battle between the two number 10s there. And in the end, Golevsky managed to win out. And unfortunately, that's a bit of a wasted opportunity for Dinamo on that occasion. But with just a minute to go of regulation time here at Churchill Reserve, night is certainly starting to fall. You can hear the crickets in the background just behind us. I don't know if you can pick that up on the screen, but at the moment, the crickets aren't the only ones that are chirping at the moment. The Dinamo fans are very, very happy with what they've seen in the first half. Their team has had to absorb a lot of pressure, so the Cannons certainly are not out of the contest, despite the fact that they are 1-0 down at the moment. But that second-minute goal by Nicholas Kirk is the only difference between the two sides. Lebar knocks it down. It was Cholina now slidingly pushing the ball forward, but it's intercepted by Sinclair, who goes all the way back to Manos.
And Manos goes for a diagonal. Leban heads straight to Sinclair. And the fourth official puts up his board with 1 minute of additional time. The ball falls to Salmon, out to Labib on his right foot. Good defending from St Albans as Monek clears his lines. And Manos has the ball at his feet. Last minute here, first half at Churchill Reserve. Long ball to Leban. Good composure from Leban. Plays it out to Monek. Hampson up his clacker. Diaz into Guest. And it's a goal. Out of not much, Tonchi. Diaz slips the ball, and it was that forward run from Joe Guest to equalise for the Oakleigh Cannons. That will be frustrating for St Albans going to the halftime break. St Albans 1, Oakleigh Cannons 1.
What would be really, really frustrating there, they should have got that ball out of defence a lot sooner, a lot cleaner. They didn't, and they paid the price. What was probably really against the run of play in many ways. Joe Guest managed to get that deep inside his penalty box. He needed only a little window of opportunity. He saw it, he took it, and there we go. Parity has been restored in the dying seconds of the opening half. And it's half-time here at Churchill Reserve with the scoreline reading St Albans Dinamo 1, Oakleigh Cannons 1. We're going to be back after this very, very short break here at Churchill Reserve. Churchill Reserve for the second half of tonight's NPL Victoria Round 3 clash between St Albans, Dinamo and Oakleigh Cannons. The commentary box is Tonchi Prusak and Gordon Fidovich. Even how do you see that first half? It's 1-1 with the game about to restart here.
Yeah, definitely a lot of action. Senol NPL Victoria tonight at Churchill Reserve. Well, St Albans bitterly disappointed conceding a goal so late in the half there, but I'm sure Cam Watson had a good job to his defence and they regrouped for the second half. No changes to either side yet. Expected to be friends today, so we'll see who gets settled in. Sean gets the ball to Albans. That's the ball.
Rocky, just get it off him, man.
It's early control here. Switch of play. Lots of money.
Tell him, just tell him. He's here.
Looking like they want to keep possession, which is so often them.
Very disappointed they conceded that goal in the dying stages of that opening half. They had the 1-0 lead for the majority of the opening stands. Sundowns all leave here quite active. Ball comes up. And Keck, the goal scorer, he knocks it. Gets intercepted by Guest, who was also the goal scorer in the first half. So they figuring prominently as Cholina now gets it out to Joey Monak on that far side. Goes inboard to Josh Golevsky, back to Leban. Switches it to his left. And the two central, Weir that was there, then he knocked it to Anderson. So they are knocking it around a bit at the moment, looking to antagonise the Oakleigh Cannons players, maybe to get them a little bit frustrated. It worked in patches in the first half. Leban now. Searching kind of a ball, looking there for Mikhail Platt further afield, but wasn't to be. I think that was Josh Golevsky who was looking for that through ball, and the ball ends with Thomas Manos. Now, just looking across the field, it doesn't look like there have been any substitutions made or changes by any of the coaches. Chris Taylor for the Cannons and Cameron Watson for Dinamo. So it's basically the same as what we left off 15 minutes ago in the first half. Leban with the ball. Anderson further afield to Golevsky. He's a man mountain. Golevsky to Leban to Platt. They're knocking it around again. Here's an opportunity with Atsushi to Keck. Goes around one, goes around two, and there's a bit of shepherding there. Now getting his name incorrectly pronounced. It's Nicholas Cook, not Kirk or Keck. As the Cannons now go for another opportunity. And that was... who was that player that was brought down? Diaz, wasn't it? Yes, it was. He's one of those fast, dynamic players that's going to pose problems for Dinamo in much the same vein that Joey Monak has been doing so for Dinamo in the first half, Ivan.
Little bit of a sloppy turnover there from St Albans in their attacking third, and Oakleigh managed to get on the counter quite quickly, and Diaz wins a foul on Leban there. And it looks like it will be the trusty left foot of Joe Guest stand over this one. Guest. And tried to go around the wall, didn't quite curve enough. Tough in these conditions. Of course, when they're playing out, just earlier, Leban stepped into midfield, so they're trying to make a bit of a box in the midfield here and try and create a bit more space for themselves. Might have been one of Cam Watson's adjustments at half-time, but again, the ball comes out to Salmon. Strong out to Labib, and 1v1 with Weir. Gets past Weir, ball into the box, and a miscue. Geez, that was a good chance for Oakleigh. As they get the ball back in defence. And again, end-to-end action here, but a great cutback from Labib was miscued by Salmon. Oakleigh still have it in their attacking third. collision there in the box. And Gillespie comes away with it. And Weir clears his lines. And very scrappy bit of play there for the last couple of minutes, Tonchi.
Scrappy indeed, but Dinamo now with the ball. Weir with the ball right in front of our position. Goes back to Dew. And it was Atsushi getting knocked over, but looks like he's going to get the yellow card for retaliation, dare I say. He was upended initially. The referee didn't see that or decided to wave play on. But then for a retaliation, he's going to earn his number and name in the referee's book there. Yellow card, and it happened right in front of us.
Yeah, if you're reading the footballing textbook there, Tonchi, and you look under professional foul, you'll see a photo of Atsushi Inoue holding the shirt of Campbell Strong there. Had to stop him there, and no-brainer to go into the referee's book there with a caution. As, Oakleigh have begun on top here. Ball into Salmon in the box. Labib has time. Cut back to Salmon. Goes out wide to the left-hand side. And Connor Hampson cuts in. Onto his right. Will he pull the trigger? He will. But hits the back fence. And another goal kick for St Albans, Tonchi.
It was an opportunity there for the Cannons, but went begging. And Bullich now, the St Albans goalkeeper, has got possession of the ball now, and he's going to look at opportunities further afield as he's going to go for a long ball, no doubt. Or is Anderson right there that he's going to... Anderson got right in front of our commentary position, and the ball goes out of play right on the halfway line.
Joseph Ford with the ball here on the halfway line. Oakleigh Cannons throw. Looking for some movement from his teammates. And Jew wins another header. Cholina unlucky there. Little flick onto in the path of Cook, but just overcooked it a little bit. Pardon the pun. Ford again into Salmon. No respite from Jew. Good defending. And St Albans come away with the throw. First half without goals, obviously, but quite cagey. Both teams trying to gain some ascendancy here early on in the second half. Of course, 3 points would be crucial for both sides at this point of the season. As Leban and Diaz battle again, and Diaz wins out. And Joe Guest in a little pocket of space and just miscues that one. Chu takes the ball out and Labib fouls him. St Albans get the free kick there. They can regroup now and catch their breaths.
Well, they're catching their breaths. We'll catch our breaths, and there's a progress score from the Olympic Village, and it's 50 minutes gone into the game there. And it's Dandenong City who are leading 1-0 in the grand final replay after scoring in the dying minutes of the opening half. We're not sure who the goal scorer there was, but Dandenong City leading Heidelberg United 1-0 over at the Olympic Village. It's 1-1 here at Churchill Reserve, and it has been rather, well, I won't say cagey, it's been a scrappy opening in the first 10 minutes of this second half, but both sets of players causing all sorts of infringements and conceding free kicks. St Albans have conceded a free kick right in front of their clubhouse, the rather resplendent blue building, which was underwent a face paint, I guess. Look, you know, about a year ago or a year and a half ago, when they hosted the annual Australian Croatian Soccer Tournament, which was a huge event for the club. But here to the present stage, it's Cannons with a wasted ball there, and now it's Platt back to Dieu. He goes inboard to Leban, who's been very active in these opening stages of the second half. Goes forward, appeal to Cook. Nicholas Cook now, he gets around his play. This is dangerous for the Cannons. Dinamo goes into attack, but goes straight into the play. Leban now chips it to the left, looking for Platt, finding him on the edge of the box. Platt's there, fighting hard with Ford. And the referee says it didn't come off Ford, that it came off a Platt. And it is going to be a goal kick to be taken by Thomas Manos for the Cannons.
St Albans were able to generate a 2v1 there on the left-hand side, but Oakleigh did well to get back in control and have won themselves a goal kick. And the Hill have voiced their disappointment at that decision, but nonetheless, Manos goes long, aerial duel now. The St Albans regain possession, and Jew comes away with it, carries it into midfield, takes another touch. Back to the right-hand side. Gulevsky. Out to Monek. Back to Gulevsky. And good pressure there from Oakleigh. Will the referee call a foul? He won't. Oakleigh Cannons free kick. And again, another throw-in for Oakleigh.
It looked like another edition of WWE on that occasion. Hands and arms going everywhere. It's Dinamo now. Cholina to Cook. It's just a mad scramble over there. There's blue and white legs everywhere. But here's Diaz, I think it is, on that far side. He's a great tackle there in the end. That was Anderson. Very decisive sliding tackle, and it was well calculated. He managed to get that ball out of play, and the Dinamo midfielders and defenders could run back. But Sinclair now had the ball once again. He knocks it around. It really is a mad scramble on that far side, and it's just good old game of pinball football. As the Cannons now regroup, get the ball back inside their defensive half.
I think Chris Taylor will like seeing Diaz attack at pace like that, and as much as it's been a good matchup between Diaz and Levan, I do think Diaz has him for pace a little bit, so I'm sure they'll try and exploit that as Diaz gets slipped through. But the linesman disagrees with that and puts his flag up, and that is offside. So yeah, Diaz is looking dangerous, but again, not much space yet for him to operate with down the left. Of course, Joey Monek will be looking to do the same for St Albans with his pace. Still 1-1 here. About 15 minutes gone in the second half. No real chances. Oakleigh did have a cutback, which was miscued, but no real shots on goal yet, as both sides looking to gain ascendancy here. This ball gets played into Cholina. Circulates to Dew. Weir to Cholina. Back to Weir. And play with Cook. 1v1 with Joseph Ford. Nutmeg. We like to see that. Cook beats one. Beats another. Can't get past a third. As Alex Salmon is pressing Dew here. And St Albans regain possession. Bullich circulates. And Oakleigh step up to press.
Dinamo still with the ball on the far side, grandstand side. Lachlan Wee on this near side calling for it. Gulevsky now plays it all the way back to Anderson. He's got Gulevsky on this far side. Atsushi with the ball in the middle of the park. Cholina knocks it back to Adieu. Ajak Dew to Cholina. Leban with it. He looks around for opportunities. He gets rid of that cheaply, loses it cheaply, as we now have Lebib with the ball. It's going to be a free kick there, and it looks like Cholina better be careful there. He's already on a yellow card. Cholina saying he didn't mean to do it. And is it Campbell strong on the ground? Well, we haven't had any substitutions as yet, Ivan, but I dare say with 60 minutes gone, or we've just gone over the hour mark, more than likely both sets of coaches will be going to their respective benches very, very shortly, as we can see quite a few of the substitutes just warming up over here. And the Hills certainly are very vocal in their angle of the game, if you like, their own respective commentary.
Well, it's a chance for all the players to catch their breaths. The Hills certainly going in the opposite direction and letting the referee know what they think of that decision. Nonetheless, Cholina did catch him a little bit late, and he is shown the yellow card as Ford stands over it here in the middle of a park.
Vicky, let him have that one. Come here.
And they do take it short to Strong.
There you go. Now get up.
Circulates through the back line of Oakleigh from Hall to Tratt. Looking for Diaz. Is it over hit? Keeps it in. Cut back. Salmon. 2-1 Oakleigh Cannons. Jacob Tratt with the long ball over the left-hand side, utilising the pace of Liston Diaz, as we mentioned before. Millimetres away from going out for a goal kick, but does manage to get his left peg onto it. And Alex Salmon, he doesn't miss those. Another goal into his Senol NPL Victoria tally.
Well, for St Albans, it was a disappointing run of play there. Diaz, we said, he's the most electrifying player there. Very, very fast, very quick to react. He used his pace to get to that ball before it went out, and he slid and he cut it back in. And there, Salmon was on the edge of the box, unmarked, and he had time to choose his corner, and he slotted that past Marko Bulic, who's very, very disappointed. Bulic has had a good game tonight, but it's really been a case of, well, two defensive errors where they just lost concentration, a little bit of a lapse in concentration, which we did warn about early in the game. And it's now Cannons who have come from behind and are leading 2-1, although it's going to be a free kick in the middle of the park now to Dinamo. Inoue Atsushi earning that free kick. And we've probably got about 30-odd minutes to go. So, look, there's plenty of time to go as Dew now goes looking for Lachlan Weir. He finds him. Weir now goes inboard, and there was Mikael Platt almost had an opportunity. He cuts it back in, cleared away by the Oakleigh Cannons desperately. Weir to Cholina. Cholina goes to Galevsky. Back to Weir on the left-hand side. This is an opportunity for Dinamo. Cholina's going to run to it, or so is Leban. Leban gets knocked over, no free kick. Pushed over, Cholina's pushed over, he gets a free kick. Wow, lot of action play, and it continues now with a very, very quickly taken free kick. Dinamo dispossessed, and here come Oakleigh against the runner play.
That man again, Liston Diaz. And geez, that goal has sprung this game into life. 2-1 here to Oakleigh. Labib cuts in on his right foot. Well blocked. And cleared out to the left-hand side to Cook. Ford against Cook. Cuts in. Does well to beat his man. Labib and Ford. Can they conjure up a ball into the box here? Labib plays it back to Ford. Goes to the nutmeg. Ambitious there. And comes out through Campbell Strong. And now the ball comes out to Galevsky as Dinamo try to launch their own attack. But yeah, the intensity's just picked up 5 or 10% here, Tonchi, and I think Dinamo just need to regain some ascendancy, and I'm sure Cam Watson will turn to his bench. As we can see down below us here, Emmanuel Peters is ready to come on. Should be coming on in the next change. We'll see who comes off.
Well, Dinamo has to do something. They're now behind on the scoreboard and in overall play as well. So something needs to freshen up across the middle band. Here's a dangerous opportunity here for Oakleigh. Labib managing to get to the ball, but he wasn't able to control it. Bulic was able to intercept to Joseph Cholina. Over to Anderson on his right-hand side. Leban. They really 5 minutes. Dinamo, this is a critical period of the game for him. Cook. He tries to knock the ball forward. Labib now unable to control it. Ball goes out of play, and it will be a throw-in to St Albans Dinamo. And they're going to use this stoppage in play to make a change. And it looks like Joey Monek is coming off, and Manny Peters is coming on. And it'll be interesting to see if positionally things change as well, or if Manny to assume Monek's role on that right wing. Looks like he's running over onto the right wing, so a little bit of freshness on the right-hand side, but also Jerome Turan is going to come on as well, and he's going to be coming on for Nicholas Cook. So the two wingers now have both been substituted. So is that an indication maybe that Cameron Watson wants his flankers now to be fresh, and they're going to be using that as an avenue to get to the forward line? They're going to need that speed. They're going to need that freshness. And here's an opportunity. Turan to Platt to Gillespie. He goes forward looking for Turan. Can he keep it in play? He can, but all he can do is shuttle the ball out to the side. So it's a throw-in and not a goal kick to Oakleigh.
Yeah, Tonchi, two changes there on the wings. Of course, Turan's operated more as a number 10 to start the season, and Joey Monek with his first start of the season comes off. As the ball's high in the St Albans penalty area. Is that Peters going for a scissor kick? Might have got a bit of man on the way through there. Try to create something out of absolutely nothing. The old chaos ball into the box. Interesting. But, yeah, looks like Turan's operating on the left-hand flank here, and Peters has been sent straight to the right-hand side. Freshness and pace for St Albans. Give a bit more support to Mikael Platt, who's been working tightly at the top of the park. As we have a bit of a stoppage here, just to check. I think that could be Connor Hampson that's down. And looks like Jacob Tratt's just getting some attention as well. About 20 minutes to go here. Still plenty of time for St Albans to get back into this one. And Oakleigh will want to put the result to bed with a third goal. As the referee is signalling for a drop ball here in the middle of the Oakleigh defence. We'll see if Oakleigh give it back to St Albans. They will. As that's launched long, and Bullich collects. And now St Albans look to build up through the back line.
It's a familiar scenario. The Dinamo defenders knocking the ball between themselves, and then a long searching ball. Turan has it. He ends up losing it. Labib now, but he's been dispossessed by Turan, who fought back for it. Over on the far side, Peters. He's got a bit of space, but he's got two players to contend with. He tries to get around him. He's still got the ball, Emmanuel Peters. Might have to go back. He does. Knocks it all the way back to Anderson. Floating ball looking for Platt. Unable to get to him. Cholina's going to try and get to the ball first. He does. Knocks it to Atsushi. He's got two Cannons players to contend with. It goes back to Cholina. To the back post, he finds Peters, who chests it down, but he's got his back to the goals. Tries to get around Hampson, unable to do so. Hampson pokes the ball away, and in the process, manages to get a deflection off Emmanuel Peters, and it is going to be a throw-in to the Oakleigh Cannons. Take this opportunity just to look forward to round 4. St Albans are away to Altona Magic on Saturday, and on Sunday, Oakleigh Cannons taking on Melbourne City. So two very important games for both these teams next week. But before that, at the moment, Cannons are looking good. They're 2-1 up. Dinamo need to do something. We've gone 69, almost 70 minutes. Now 20 minutes left in regulation time. plus. There has been a bit of stoppage, but Cannons now. That was Ford. It's Atsushi. Knocks it back to Weir. Back to Atsushi. Charan to the left. He's got 3 players around him. The ball goes out of play, does it? Yes, it does. It is going to be a throw into the Oakleigh Cannons, and that was just that persistent pressing pressure, wasn't it?
Well done there. And, this game very much following a similar script to last week for Oakleigh, where they went down 1-0 early to Altona Magic and were able to claw their way back into it and get the win 3-1. We'll see if they can add to their second here as ball comes through. Cholina. Great ball to Leban on the half turn. Faces forward, cuts inside. Tries to split the defence, but Ford reads that one as Manos clears his lines. Jew wins a header, but ball falls to Guest. The diagonal ball to Diaz. It's been their outlet this second half. As Bulic is caught late there from Liston Diaz on the way through. And the referee does go to his back right-hand pocket and pulls out a caution for Liston Diaz. Little bit of an underhit back pass there to Bulic. Did well to clear it. And Diaz just caught him on the way through. St Albans just need a spark here, Tonchi, to find something for that second goal.
Yeah, they're getting a little bit tired there. It was evidenced by Leban's pass. He probably had good intentions, but there was no one there to run onto that through ball. And we're still seeing a lot of unforced errors, so to speak, from both sides, but more so from Dinamo at the moment. And as you said, Ivan, they do need to do something. Time is fast running out. I mean, we've gone 71 minutes. There's plenty of time on the time clock, but they just need that spark. And at the moment, well, that was one of the players that was brought on, Manny Peters, to try and bring on that spark. He tries to get the ball off his opponents, almost did, but the ball ricochets and goes all the way back to Tom Manos in the Oakleigh Cannons goal. Cannons at the moment, they're threatening with the third goal, just as the weather is here. There's a bit of lightning around the ground, thunder as well rumbling away, so we're hoping that thunderstorm does hold off, but it is a very, very humid evening at the moment. No wind. It's very still, very calm, but at the moment on the park, it's anything but that. As Charan tries to knock it forward, and it's cleared away by the Cannons' defence, but it goes as far as Bulic. Goes out to Anderson on the far side. They're going to need some spark across that midfield, and they're going to need some quick transition. We are now. Cholina flicks it forward to Charan. Back to Cholina, who loses the ball. It was Sinclair that knocks it forward. Who's been dispossessed now. Labib gets it. He's going to cut it in or shoot. Either way, I think the decisive thing there was it Jerome Charan that managed to run back and get a bit of a deflection, which knocked a little bit of the stuffing out of there. But it's Labib now once again with the ball to Guest. Here goes Oakleigh Cannons again. Diaz now on the far side, and it's going to come off. Is that Joseph Cholina? And who was that player? It was Cholina, and it's gone out for a corner. It's going to be another substitution made very, very shortly on the Dinamo bench. Oakleigh, as yet, they haven't made any changes, but it looks like it's going to be coming very, very shortly, possibly even after this corner.
Yeah, that long ball from Oakleigh, Ajak Jura was just caught napping a little bit, and Labib got a toe in. Probably should have done better, but composed, as we now see a corner kick. Outswinger, ball falls, clearance from St Albans. And Oakleigh regain possession as St Albans step up. And a turnover here. Here we go. 3v3. And a poor touch. A poor touch from Mikel Platt has marked the end of that counter-attack, because they were really on there. They had a 2v1 and then a 3v3 streaming in numbers as St Albans regain possession here. And as you said, Tonchi, I think Cam Watson's shortly going to make another change. With, I think, Atsushi Inui being the man to make way.
The transition for Dinamo has been too slow tonight, and that's been the biggest problem. I think they're from defence to attack has gone almost too predictable, and here's an opportunity for Turan inside the box, but Oakleigh once again able to read that. The Oakleigh defence doing a great job. Dew now has it, and that's his second mistake that could prove costly now. As Salmon now goes on to the edge of the box, inside the box, he cuts it in, and this is a dangerous situation for St Albans. Cleared away, or half cleared away by Leban. Once again, back with Salmon there. He lofts it towards the back post. But Fatigue's starting to clear, to rear its ugly head, if you like. It looks like there's a couple of players down, but there's going to be a substitution made here. But that was a golden opportunity just moments earlier when Mikael Platt, and he started to look tired there as well. He was just too slow to get the ball or control that ball the way he wanted. He had Turan to his left, but he thought he'd do it himself, and then he was dispossessed by the Cannons defenders. And looks like the Dinamo bench are going to wait until the ball goes out of play next for the next substitution. But it's now Dinamo with their defence. Ajak Dew has got the ball, looking further afield, but no options further afield.
They need a bit of movement here, St Albans, as Leban comes into midfield, plays Cholina. They're going to have to go back again. Leban circulates. That's better football. Bit of movement will help unlock this Cannons defence. They're probably sitting more in a mid-block at the moment, as Alex Salmon had a lot of time just a minute ago there. Wasn't able to capitalise on the counter-attack. Lockie Weir. Turan. Skips past Joseph Ford, and he's fouled in the process. St Albans a free kick on the left-hand side here. As looks like Oakleigh are preparing a substitution as well, so Lockie Weir stands over this one. About 15 minutes to go here at Churchill Reserve. St Albans looking for an equaliser. Oakleigh looking to hold on to their 2-1 lead. As Weir prepares to send an outswinger in to the left-hand side here. Dangerous ball. Falls to ground. And Oakleigh clear their lines. And unluckily for St Albans, the ball has come off Lockie Weir's noggin, and it's out for an Oakleigh Cannons throw. As Tonchi, we've got a few substitutions here coming on. Atsushi Inui makes way for Fletcher McFarlane, and Joshua Galewski for Alexander Tepirovsky. As they try and freshen up what they've got on the field.
And looks like Cannons are also going to make a substitution very, very shortly as well. I'd say it's Adam Duratovic that is going to be coming on, but we'll just wait and see who that person is going to be that's going to take who's going to come off. It's the Cannons at the moment. So 4 substitutions have been made by Cameron Watson. Dinamo desperate to do something at the moment. Dew back to Bulich. They got to knock it as quickly as possible to the other side of the field. Jerome Turan here right in front of us. He's got plenty of space. Sepiverovsky has got the ball on that far side. Is it Leban? Is he going to go for a long ball? He is. He's now knocked it over. This could be an opportunity. But it was Fletcher McFarlane. Was it Fletcher McFarlane who's just come on? Had an opportunity. No, it was Joseph Cholina. Almost had an opportunity. Fletcher McFarlane's there. Adieu now knocks it forward, looking for Platt. Platt to Cholina. Cholina, Charan. Cholina in the middle. He's been bowled over. Is there going to be a free kick? Yes, it is. It was Sinclair that infringed on that occasion. And it's very heated in the middle of the park. Very heated on the hill as well. And just to slow things down, or to bring the temperature down, Chris Taylor's making a substitution or change with number 23, Liston Diaz, to come off. He has had an absolutely fantastic game, hasn't he? He probably one of the best players at the moment, and he's really run himself ragged.
He's looked very dangerous, Liston Diaz, especially on the counter-attack on the left-hand side. So he's earned a rest. Well done, Liston Diaz. And on comes Adam Duratovic. As St Albans launch into the left-hand side, and that one's overhit. And it will be an Oakleigh Cannons throw-in. Tensions are high here, down at ground level. Still 2-1, still time. But not much in the way of chances in the last 10 minutes, Tonchi.
No, and this is where the calmness has to prevail as well. I mean, they are desperate, Dinamo, to get that goal. But then Guest now goes through Labib. Good diving tackle there by Anderson with Bulich. But they have to also maintain their composure. We could just see that there. Bit of frustration, a lot of frustration creeping into Dinamo's game at the moment. There's not a lot of time left. With about 10 minutes to go of regulation time, and then whatever extra time the referee decides. So maybe 3, maybe 4 minutes by my reckoning. But, sanity or cool heads need to prevail for the boys in blue if they are to find the equaliser. But Oakleigh are doing a very good job. They're spending quite a lot of pressure on Dinamo at the moment and continuing to maintain that pressure as well. As Duratovic now with one of his first touches. I'm not sure if that was kind of meant to be a cross or whether that was meant to be sort of a half-hearted shot. Either way, the ball's gone out of play. It is a goal kick to St Albans. Ajak Dieu, who's probably been Dinamo's best player, amongst the best certainly. He's figuring prominently in the possession of the ball there. Cholina, who's been a lot more active in the second half than he was in the first half, but there's just no options further afield for Dinamo. Dieu going for a long ball, looking for Peters on the far side. He finds him. Peters goes inboard now, knocks it now into the middle of the park. Here's Tsepivarovsky, but unfortunately, Lockie Weir, for whom it was intended, ended up probably slipping or not reading that ball the way he would have liked to, and it's an Oakleigh Cannons throw now to be taken by Joseph Ford.
You're right, Tonchi. Drew's been very prominent in the St Albans back line. Has had a lot to deal with. The St Albans press now for that equaliser. But Oakleigh maintaining firm in defence. Good ball to Cholina. Good half turn. 1-2 with Charan. Uses his strength. And Labib is all over him. And the referee intervenes here. Just wants to have a little chat with both Joseph Cholina and Labib. Just a little bit of a tangle there in the middle third. And the referee calls Joe Guest over as well, just to have a quick chat.
He's trying to, I think, diffuse the situation at the moment. He's called over, obviously, Cholina is the captain for Dinamo, Guest the captain for Oakleigh, but he's also called Labib over. And now he's going to go over to his, looks like he's going over to his assistant referee just to talk about something. Or is he going to be a drop ball? Looks like it's going to be a drop ball, but the fans are just voicing their frustration both at their home side's performance, but also at the referee. But the referee continues on. Jerome Charan now trying to bring that ball down. Cleared away by the Oakleigh defence. Dieu knocks it in the middle of the park where I think Guest was there. Now it's Labib on the far side. He crosses it in. Almost an opportunity there for the Oakleigh players. Strong. And that was Salmon with a little bit of a back heel. And now is an opportunity for Dinamo. Tsepivarovsky. Back to Anderson. There's not too many gaps in the Oakleigh defence further afield. Dinamo need to move this around quickly, and they need to get it forward quickly. Dew gets it into Cholina. He knocks it back in turn to McFarlane. To Anderson. Not too many opportunities further afield. Dew once again ball bobbles a little bit. It was Salmon tried to get it off him. Leban now in the middle of the park. Goes out to Peters, finds him. This looks promising for St Albans, but it's cleared away by the Oakleigh defence. McFarlane knocks it back to his teammate, Ajak Dew. To Anderson. I just somehow get the feeling that the movement, the Dinamo's ball movement, is just that little bit slow, and Oakleigh are really reading him.
I think what Chris Taylor will be most pleased with, Tonchi, is after that goal's gone in, the back four and the midfield two of Sinclair and Strong have been rock solid and haven't allowed them to get in those tight spaces in between the defence and midfield. So as we see Dinamo here on the left-hand side to Leban. Fletcher McFarlane controls. And Labib gets his foot involved. They've got 9 men behind the ball there with Salmon the lone striker. And Oakleigh have built a winning mentality by holding on to these leads over the past decade in NPL Victoria football, and they're looking fairly comfortable at the moment. What can Dinamo pull out of their back pocket here?
With the maximum of maybe 9 or 10 minutes left in this game, Ivan, what would you do in this situation if you're Cameron Watson? Dinamo need to find an avenue to goal, and at the moment it just doesn't look like there is one. What would you do to change things up in the last dying moments of this game?
Look, they've obviously played with one up front, so I wouldn't mind seeing maybe Peters as a bigger body, try and get forward, put 2 up front. Just change the look a little bit for Jordan Hall and Jacob Tratt in the last 10 minutes. As we go out to the left-hand side, Lockie Weir slips through, but fantastic defending from Oakleigh as they clear their lines. And Cholina turns up the left-hand side, beats Labib. As he switches play to Peters. 1v1, Emmanuel Peters. And it's been called for an Oakleigh foul. Looks like Oakleigh have shut up shop here. They've got men behind the ball. They're very happy to keep it compact. They're okay with keeping Alex Salmon as a lone striker and reverting more to that mid-block type of defence. And now Thomas Manos just soaking up the seconds here in Oakleigh defence as he looks to take the free kick. Of course, Tonchi, St Albans still searching for their first win of the season. Not sure if they can grapple 3 points here. They might be able to sneak a point if they play the last 5 or 10 minutes right.
Well, as you said, they have to try something different because at the moment they're just not finding that avenue to goal. And here's an opportunity, and that's the sealer. That's the sealer. And very, very suddenly, was that Durat? It looked like number 11, Adam Duratovic will confirm it. He was, and really, once again, kind of against the run of play, it was that split second of a lapse in concentration in the Dinamo defence. It allowed Duratovic on that occasion to nip in, and all he needed was that split second and a small window of opportunity. He took it. And, it's almost an exact replica of last week's game when Oakleigh Cannons came from behind and won 3-1. That's what the scoreline is right here with only, minutes to go before the full 90 minutes is up.
Yeah, and Cam Watson will be disappointed with that one. Sort of a bit of a nothing ball into the box of St Albans. They weren't able to deal with it. And the substitute, Duratovic, pounced on that one and coolly finished. To get his campaign off to a good start, that's his first goal of the season. And Manos wipes a few more seconds off the clock here. Of course, Oakleigh arguably unlucky not to be 3 wins from 3, having dominated long periods of the opening fixture against Preston Lions before Preston were able to take the 3 points. But yeah, they love a 3-1 scoreline, Tonchi. As Peters cuts in and out. Hopeful shot. Ford comes out to Labib. And a bit of a rash challenge. And a little bit of handbag stuff here as the game is petering to an end. Emmanuel Peters with a late challenge there on Labib. Stood his ground well. And that'll be all for Labib tonight as he is taken off for new signing Mark Pethriotis. Of course, has made the switch over from newly promoted Caroline Springs George Cross. And we'll see if he can impact the game. The fourth official has just put up his board. There's 5 minutes of additional time here. And I'm sure Oakleigh Cannons will be happy to suck out the life out of this one and take the 3 points back home to Jack Edwards Reserve.
Well, we did tip it was going to be about 4 or 5 minutes. So it gives Dinamo a fighting chance, I suppose, an unlikely chance. But at the moment, like I said, everyone seems to be frustrated here. The Dinamo players, the Dinamo coaches, the Dinamo fans, everyone is frustrated with the way this game has panned out. And it probably, in the greater scheme of things, it was a case of Dinamo not taking their chances. The Cannons did take their chances, and that's been the big difference between the two sides. We are looking for Peters, but Peters wasn't expecting it, was slow to react, as we see another substitution now, and it is going to be James Giorgio coming on, I think, for Campbell Strong. Yep, Campbell Strong, who had some very, very heated moments before with Emmanuel Peters, and wasn't very happy with what was going on, so he's coming off. He's had his game tonight, and coming on is Giorgio for the last, I guess, 3 minutes or so. And at the moment, it's the Cannons looking very, very comfortable, 3-1 leaders. And dare I say, they're going to return to Jack Edwards Reserve tonight with all 3 points in tow. A disappointing start to the season for Dinamo. They drew in that first game against Dandenong City in a game that they probably should have won, could have won, but they didn't. They only drew that one 0-0. And then last week against Preston, 3-1 result there, and it looks like that's going to be more of the same here against the Cannons.
Another good performance from Chris Taylor's men. Of course, recapping for those who are tuning in at home. Nicholas Cook got the St Albans, the home side, off to a great start in the second minute, which some of you may not have seen due to technical difficulties, but that's all right. And Joe Guest equalised shortly before the halftime interval to make it 1-1, before Alex Salmon made it 2-1, and Adam Duratovic scored Oakleigh's third goal. 3-1 here at Churchill Reserve, as St Albans have the ball here and try and conjure up something, but it's going to be too little too late here for St Albans as we enter the last couple of minutes here, Tonchi.
At best, I think they can hope to sort of kind of alleviate the pressure on the goal difference with a late consolation goal. Leban knocks it out to Anderson on the far side. But Cannons have been very well structured throughout the evening in their defensive side of things, as long searching ball looking for Emmanuel Peters. He contends with... It wasn't Peters. It was, in fact, Mikael Platt. But came to no avail. Manos just releases that ball out for a throw-in. He's not too concerned at the moment. Why should he be if his team is 3-1 up and we've only got about 45 seconds left? And unless there's been any other Some interesting scores. Heidelberg United 1 and Dandenong City 2. So it looks like Dandenong City have gained a little bit of revenge against their grand final opponents. And they have managed to, well, looks like they look likely to secure the 3 points, their first 3 points of the season. Cholina now with the ball. Weir. Cleared away by the Oakleigh defence. Jack Dew heads it to himself. Then he chests it. Anderson knocking it forward to Cholina. Cholina's had a good second half. He's been involved in a lot of play. Peters now tries to get around past his opponent, unable to do so. And it's the Cannons. Well, 5 minutes of injury time has been played. Salmon with the ball. Knocks it back to Hampson. Oakleigh Cannons well and truly in possession, in control. And looking down. Well, looking like they're going to take all 3 points. I think that's pretty much a foregone conclusion here at Churchill Reserve. All eyes just on the referee, waiting for him to give the sign that the game is over. And the Cannons faithful who are probably tuning into this YouTube live stream will be jumping for joy. Their team has captured the 3 points for the second successive week, and there it is. The final whistle has been blown here at Churchill Reserve. It was an eventful game. Lots of goals, and in the end, it was a goal for 1 goal to St Albans, but 3 goals to Oakleigh Cannons as the heavens start to open up. What good timing that is.
Yeah, Oakleigh came on the road and did what they haven't done here in 5 years and got the 3 points, so Chris Taylor will be delighted. And sure, Cam Watson's men will go back to the drawing board. But it's been a pleasure to be by your side here tonight, Tonchi, in what was a bit of a cagey, bit scrappy, but entertaining game of football nonetheless.
And it's full time here at Churchill Reserve. St Albans Dynamo 1, Oakleigh Cannons 3. On behalf of Ivan Gurgic and myself, Tonchi Prusek, good night and thank you for being with us tonight. Bye-bye.
Number 21, Thomas Manos at Dinamo. So Cam Watson's turn to his captain to try and change things around this week.
Yeah, I think the first 15 or so minutes are going to be pretty important as we see Dinamo now going through into attack. Kirk with a shot, and he scored it. He scored it within 2 minutes. Kirk with a shot, and he's